Hey, how you doing, everyone? We're not doing the musical intro, just to see if
We're not. We've ran out of songs.
that's it. That's every
And
song.
also turns out people may not have liked it for some reason.
Maybe. To be honest, I haven't really checked the when do people stop listening. I think I checked in the first two episodes, and I think people usually stop around 7 minutes in, right? So, what if it's like,
Yeah.
what if because there isn't like a musical intro, now people like they stop way earlier now? 'Cause like, oh well, I ain't gonna listen to this if they're not gonna sing any epic songs for me, you know.
No, that's fair. We just gotta. What songs do you want us to do a cool,
List
very high effort parody of?
list down your favorite songs at the bottom, and I think the obvious joke would be like to do tequila, but um like we wouldn't do the part where the dun, 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 like don't do that part. Just be quiet for the whole like 3 minutes, and then right when you say tequila, say Fupa Fellas, and then be quiet for another 5 minutes. people people think that the podcast is like quiet, like whoa, what the fuck? Like I think you uploaded
Be
this without
checking their
audio, guys.
headphones.
Yeah. All right.
We'll,
All right. That's enough. Did we say who the fuck we are? Does that matter?
we are the Fupa Fellas. This here over here is Cheesymanfredo. You may know him best from Cheesymanfredo on
On
Twitter.com. And
Twitter.com.
I'm Spo.
Yep, that's Bo. You
You know me
might
best from you know
from
me best from Speditsky Art
yeah,
and other
exactly.
places.
I'm glad you said it out loud because I don't try to pronounce it.
That's fine.
It's not as catchy as Spo.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's
That
one syllable.
I it is lucky that it came out that way because the whole Spo name just came because I misspelled my old like username that I would use in MMOs. Like
What was it?
it,
Spore or something?
my it was Spore.
Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
was
I was
like
just a
Spore
guess.
Tamer. It was Spore Tamer 22, and because I really like the game Spore,
Oh.
and I just thought that sounds like a cool name to make, and so I made my DeviantArt account that. But when I made it, I misspelled it, and on DeviantArt you actually have to pay to change your username. So I was like,
Oh,
well,
I didn't know
I guess
that.
it'll I guess it'll be Spo Tamer, and then like a bunch of people started calling me that. It's like, well, I guess that's my name.
Wow, Spo. That's crazy. I didn't know about the Spo lore like that.
Yeah.
You were a Tamers guy? Was it because of Digimon Tamers? Is that why?
It's actually because of was it Tamers
One, two, three.
1 2 3 or whatever,
Oh,
that guy
okay.
who makes the Sonic Underground videos. Yeah, no, he's a big inspiration
That
for me.
that guy's great. We should get him on the podcast.
I think we should. Yeah, I think that would be honored.
Yeah, in case people don't know, I mean, Spo basically said it, but he's the guy who does. Well, he used to do a bunch of Sonic Underground parodies where he was very much obsessed with this like side character named Bartleby, and he would make him like super buff and rich, and he would make him gay, and he would make him have gay sex with Sonic, and Sonic was like pathetic in his videos. And I'm not making none of this up. This is all real.
Yeah,
I think though he has a tendency to delete his videos. I don't know why, but he just deletes a bunch of old content. There's like archive channels where people just re-upload the old videos. Currently, right now, he's super obsessed with like Dandy's World and My Little Pony. And his My Little Pony content is actually pretty good. Not gonna lie.
that's one of those things where I don't know what it was about My Little Pony, but it really did just rewrite a bunch of people's brains. Where it's like, whatever brand of fandom brain rot I'm in right now, My Little Pony's taking it over.
Yeah, it's a lot of I mean, I guess we'll get into the topic now of fandoms, but
Yeah, a segue.
yeah, no, good segue. Good job, Spo. High five. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I think talking about fandoms, the first time I ever felt like I was part of a fandom was for the PCP podcast. And I don't know if a lot of people here know who the PCP is. I mean, I feel like a portion of people who listen to my specific podcast are aware of the PCP because that was one of the, I guess, first podcasts where I made myself kind of visibly known because they had like voicemails and I would send in a couple. I became like with friends with some of the people on that podcast, and that's how I first got into like Discord. Was going on
Really?
the server for Ben Saint, who was a member of the PCP podcast, and that's how I met a lot of friends and people that I'm still friends with now. You know,
Yeah.
right, and that's where I felt the most active in being like a fandom because I was never like, I felt for the longest time I was kind of allergic to not like necessarily like jumping into fandoms, but doing stuff like fan art even. I wasn't really like too into, I guess because this might be conceited to say, but I felt like I had a very robust like social life outside of being on the internet that I didn't really need a fandom. I feel like that's what that's the big thing with joining fandoms, because now that I think about it, I got into like the PCP like fandom around the same time I was like seeing less and less of like my friends in community college, so it kind of does align. But
When you were at your lowest, you had PCP, is what you're saying?
yeah, when I was at my lowest, I had PCP. Right. So it worked out, right? But you, Spo, I see you do like a lot of fan art. Would you say you're very active in all sorts of fandoms, or what would you say?
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I draw a lot of fan arts for like, shows I like or things that I think that would be cool concepts or all that. I feel like it's one of those things where I never really got into too many fandom spaces. I kind of understand the appeal to them because, a lot of people do treat them as sort of like a community that you can have, sort of like-minded people. It's like, oh, it's all people who like, My Little Pony, to bring back that thing or whatever. I think when it came to like fandom stuff, like me actively participating, like drawing fan art of like things that are coming out, my first one was probably Steven Universe. Like it was like kind of that perfect blend because like when it came to MLP, like I knew it existed and knew what bronies were, but I didn't have the channel for it, and also like I didn't know how to pirate things, so it's like, well, I don't know how to watch this show, and also these people are everywhere and they're kind of annoying me, so I don't want to watch this. And I never really have watched any of MLP for, well, not really for that reason, more so just because it never really, I kind of missed the boat on it, and like at this point it's like, who cares, right?
Yeah, MLP specifically, like what was it, Gen 5 or Gen 4? I forget what gen they're on.
Yeah, I think it was 4 was the one that everyone
became big,
where the bronies came from. Yeah,
there's this kind of, there's kind of like a nostalgia to it, I guess, because if you were like really knees deep in it, now at this point, like, as the show's been over for years now, you could probably look back and remember the more fonder memories, the good times, right? But
because now we're kind of at the point where it's like, because the show came out in 2010, so it's 16 years old. If you were like 10 when or like if you were 6 years old when the show came out, you're like in your mid-20s at this point.
Right, exactly. So you could like reflect. Yeah, could you reflect back on it? It's interesting. I did recently watch the first My Little Pony movie, and not the Gen 4 one. I mean the one from the 80s, because they had a movie. Yeah. And I think it was not good. It was very much and then this kind of and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. I mean, there was like a plot. There was like an evil witch named Hydia, and she created a creature called the Schmooze, and he was like gonna consume all of the Ponyland. They didn't call it Equestria, is what I noticed, and they didn't even call it Ponyville either. But the Schmooze, it was a purple goop that was gonna take over, destroy everything. And also Danny DeVito was in this movie as the Grundle King.
I think we have to bleep that out. I don't think we could say that. We'll get
No, he's
demonetized.
the Grundle King. They lost their kingdom to the Schmoos.
Okay, yeah, Grundle King lost his kingdom to the Schmooze. I'm following.
Yeah, they lost the kingdom to the Schmoos, and every time he brings it up, his Grundle people cry because they're like, "Fuck, we lost the Grundle Kingdom."
We got the Schmooze god. It was fucking over.
It's over, dog. It's over. I was surprised to learn that My Little Pony used to have like kind of human villains. Also, all the ponies, like none of them. I kept confusing them. Like I couldn't really like tell them apart. Even though technically they had different colors, I couldn't really tell them apart because there wasn't like a. It didn't feel like there was a core group. Like there wasn't like a main six, like how Gen 4 did it. There's so many things Gen 4 does that I thought like felt obvious to me. Like, okay, so for example, something like Transformers. Each adaptation is different, but like at the core, it usually is just Autobots versus Decepticons, right? Like that doesn't really change.
Yeah.
And you have Optimus Prime, or we have Megatron. We have all these and you switch it up for who's on what team, blah blah blah. But My Little Pony, it doesn't really feel like they had that. As far as I know, I mean, there's probably I feel like even older than Bronies, there's probably a pony head, most likely a woman, an older woman who is very versed in like pony lore before Gen 4, and could be like, well, there was like explain to me that there's like this kind of like there probably was a core group or whatnot, but it just didn't seem like there was much of a formula, and I think Lauren Faust, she came in and she kind of like, I guess treated it more like fantasy, and I think she did a better job of making each pony look very unique,
I mean, yeah, no, it is very interesting. Just like, I mean, I don't know too much about the stuff before, like the Gen 4 stuff, but just looking at it from like a broader view, it is kind of insane how Lauren Faust took MLP, which, for like 30 years beforehand was an IP that was exclusively for little girls and everyone thought it was stupid and for babies, and she took that and made something that was so good that the exact opposite demographic even thought it was good. A demographic that has like 10 times the buying power. Ever since then, Lauren Faust has just never been able to make anything ever.
I mean,
like you'd think that'd be a blank check to do whatever she wants.
Don't get it wrong, Spo. MLP is still for stupid babies, all right, and it never stopped being for stupid babies. Okay, like
it is for babies, but. They managed to make something that was good enough to hook a different demographic also, which none of the other ones were able to do.
Man babies, if you will. But I was gonna say, damn, there was something I was gonna say about. Oh my god, there was something. Okay, it'd be really funny if there was like a Hasbro CEO who like before like what was it 2010. He has like a monkey's paw and he's all like, oh, I wish that My Little Pony appealed to boys. And then the monkey paw like curls in and then it creates this universe. It's funny, I was talking about the PCP, but they met through the pony fandom. So their group started in the pony fandom, and then they moved past. There's a lot of people now who are who were like kind of elevated during the pony fandom. Yeah. And then they moved on to do other things, like Jenny Nicholson would be one example, and Doxy would be another too. The NSFW artist Doxy.
Oh yeah, I mean, Jenny Nicholson's video on the Brony fandom, like post autopsy or whatever, is very interesting. I think it is cool to kind of get that sort of insight on that because I think the thing that really interests me most about the Brony fandom is that it kind of came in this perfect time, or I guess not perfect, air quotes on that, this sort of time in the internet when it was just starting to like turn into what we know it today. Like, it was kind of in this almost like in between point from like random forums and online message boards and stuff that are very separated from each other. You got to know where to look for all that stuff. And today where the internet is like 5 websites
Oh,
that
boy.
everyone is on and has to be on. And the Brony fandom shows that interesting part because it's like it was coming up in the early 2010s when like social media was just starting to kick off. But what used to be like content you would only find on obscure message boards that like, you know, like people who would be really into Tiny Toons would have their message boards that they would be on posting weird stuff, but you had to know where to go to get there. So it's like you didn't have any chance of like random people who just are on the internet just to you know, just to post pictures of their dog or whatever would stumble across it. But now, or at least like at that point, the MLP stuff was crossing over with the stuff regular people were, so a lot of people were starting to realize what the fuck is this, and this is very strange. And like that you kind of get the start of like cringe culture from that, and also just the start of like a lot of fandom culture because you had these sort of niche groups and the average social media goer sort of congealing together.
Tiny Toons is like the original evil fandom, if you think about it.
It kind of is, but you know, they were just at the right time where it was like, oh man, you know, if you really wanted to see fucking Babs Bunny's plush souls, you had to really look for it.
Yeah.
Unlike with the MLP guys, they could just find it while scrolling on Twitter.
That's true.
You know, they're really privileged in that way.
Like, I think MLP was the first time I ever heard of the concept of like looking up a cartoon character on Google Images and seeing how many scrolls does it take before your recommended porn, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Like, cause like people like to say Brony's like a unique evil because like how could people draw porn of these things from a kid's show? And it's like, I mean, I don't know, man. Newgrounds was doing that a decade beforehand, but because this is the social media era, that stuff congealed, you know?
Right.
That's sort of what I mean, where it's like these things came together. Like that sort of stuff has always been on the internet. You just had to know where to look. Now it's like, oh, it's here because everyone's on Facebook now and everyone's on Twitter.
It's very much that like how much everything has been kind of like crushed into each other, you know? You hear people talk about how like it's crazy how much like 4chan lingo just became like mainstream, like, you know, lingo, especially with like the Looks Maxine related stuff and phrases like moid or foid or famoid and shit like that.
Yeah,
you know, but and also like how we kind of treat like locales too has changed, and I made a tweet about this because I was quote tweeting a buddy's comic they made. This guy called Rump Dumpler. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He's a cool guy. He makes really cool comics. And he had this comic with his all of his characters look like fucking quasi like background characters from Smiling Friends. And there was one guy who like was wearing underwear and his like crotch was bleeding, and he had a sign saying like charging like a certain amount of money to kick me in the nuts, and these two guys were kind of like, oh, he said it's okay, he could take it, and then to me I'm like, oh, this is saying something about the commodification of being a locale, you know, because it used to be that like other like mentally ill people would target one mentally ill person and like, you know, and try to like make them do awful, terrible shit, right? Because you know they're milking the cow, lows, right? But now, but now the low-cal targets are more kind of like self-aware, I feel, and it almost kind of resembled like wrestling kayfabe, almost, where like people would give into being like a low-cal, like Johnny Somali, like for example, I feel like it's a big example of that, where it's like, oh, okay, so I'm this guy. I'm the weirdo fuck who harasses people. All right, well, I'm gonna lean into that. I'm gonna make some money. Like everything, you know, eventually goes back to like commodifying your hobby or your persona online, I guess, you know.
It really is like it really is like the wrestling heel thing where you become so much of the character, but then you have to realize, oh, you're not in a ring, you're in the real world, and you're just kind of fucking with people, and you know, you just kind of have to like tune that out at a certain point where you just kind of don't see people as people and are just like, whatever, I'm doing this because people hate me. If people hate me, it means they'll make me money. I mean, that's even like what a lot of political figures are doing now. Like you have Nick Fuentes, he's basically just that. Like he'll go on, he'll say his stuff, and then he'll make a clip of him like saying the N word or whatever, and people are like, can't believe he said this, and he's like, yeah, I know, I can't believe I said that, right?
Yeah, it's just so it's like this lack of commitment, I would say, but also it's everyone is like living in this like middle ground of like being sincere but not really, you know. And it, like, I've talked about this before, where like the appeal with kind of like, this is kind of similar with like these male influencer manosphere guys, where like the appeal is being a hypocrite, you know. So like you could be this guy who like, yeah, like Nick Fuentes, for example. You could be the guy that pushes the the right wing talking points, how they need to make like society better and to get rid of immigrants, right? But at the same time, he comes off pretty like gay, you know, in the things he says about women. Like, are you even sure you like girls? Are you even sure like living a traditional heteronormative like lifestyle is for you, you know? But that's kind of like, and back in the day,
yeah, that's a part of the character for him, right? Like, I don't think he believes anything sincerely. He just knows that, oh, if I just be racist and be gay at the same time, people will, they'll call me slurs or whatever. He wants to be liked. Also give me attention and money.
He wants people to like him, you know, and it's very easy to like to make people like, it's funny, you know, it's funny because like what I'm about to say, where it's like, oh, it's very easy to make people like you if you're racist, because now you're guaranteed a portion of like a group of people to guaranteed to like you, right? Which are like white supremacists, you know. So it's like, yeah, it almost clears the line, you know. It almost makes it really easy, because it's like it's hard being like and then still kind of being like yourself, because like a person is like complicated. A person is like three-dimensional, you know. Like I guess for an example is like something like on Twitter, I'm like constantly like reposting things. Sometimes I'll post like takes that sometimes seem like contradict themselves, but I feel like something I accepted as a person is that like my mind could be changed, you know. People could say the right words, and then the things like I could see like the right post or tweet in the right moment with the right mindset and think like, yeah, that guy's making a lot of sense, not knowing that I retweeted something from like some sort maybe some anti-Semitic person or whatnot, you know, because like, you know, like, yeah, I also don't like Israel, but this person doesn't like Israel for other reasons, and he just didn't include those reasons in his post, you know. And people do tell me, you gotta
vet those sometimes.
Yeah, and people do tell me like, oh, you know, you just like reposted so and so. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. But like, you know, that's all about like being like a person. Like I think it's so it's almost like kind of liberating to be like, oh, well, I'm like this guy that constantly changes his mind, because I know that like with Nick Fuentes, it's been documented that he'll like contradict the things he says, or he just like changes his mind, or he'll be like, damn, I kind of miss Obama, I wish Obama was president again, you know. And like you don't, that doesn't contradict none of the like hating black people stuff, because it's like he has the appeal is the freedom that he could go back and forth, you know, but still like be part of like a certain like group. And that's just so, I guess it's like, I don't know, because I don't feel like I'm that type of person, and I don't feel like I'm friends with anyone like that. I feel like the majority of people I like, follow, or I'm friends with are pretty like consistent. I like to think they're consistent, you know, because like, how much do you know like any fucking content creator, you know, where they're like, oh, they seem normal, and then the right thing happens that breaks their brain, like someone like fucking Ethan Klein, you know. Where like, oh, this guy seemed normal, he seems kind of funny, and until he has a podcast. I think what's really funny is how much like people are revealed to not be funny once they get a podcast, and it's like, oh wow, they're not really too like interesting to talk to, I guess. But you know, some people are funnier scripted than like, you know, free fall.
I think what Cheesy's trying to say is one of the most toxic fandoms of all is racism.
True.
Second only to the Star Wars fandom. How did you spend your May the 4th?
I reposted my traditional May the 4th comic. I don't know if people have seen this, but I drew this one comic where like this guy dressed up like Luke Skywalker is like, oh, may the fourth be with you, to this other guy, and that guy pulls out like a comically huge gun and just blasts his whole head off. And then a Princess Leia cosplayer is like, hey, why did you do that? He was just having fun, and then she gets shot in the face. And
that
yeah.
that's good. I do like that. It's just very. I think it's a good one to post every year. I think you gotta do a new one where you just add Baby Yoda. He just says, "I'm the baby, gotta love me," and then you blast him.
Someone said something that I thought, oh, I wish that was the gimmick, where like every year I should add a new panel of a new person getting shot, so it just keeps going on. Like people just keep getting shot over and over again.
It's just a new one every year.
Yeah, just a new one every year, And people are like, wow, this guy hates fun. Okay, well, being edgy is not funny. Like, if you think like, okay, you think if I do a panel that covers every single like response I know I'm going to get from the comic, you think eventually I'll hit the point where like no one can respond anymore because like I've thought of every single little thing someone could say to me.
Yeah, no, I think you'll have won Twitter at that point. I think that's how you have to do it.
Right, because then it legit people will even reply, be like, no, it's like for real, I don't even know what to tell you, because like I don't even know what to say.
Got them all there. They all got their heads blown off. Yeah. Man, you want me to repost the same panel there?
Yeah, like it's just there's just nowhere else to like go with it anymore, and it. And you get kind of you're stuck now, I guess, but that would kill engagement. I recently made.
Got it.
Yeah, I haven't drawn like a short comic in a minute. I recently kind of like, I guess, photoshopped together this one like kind of shitty comparison comic between Japanese superheroes and American superheroes. And I kept it very like bare bones and very kind of like not really simplified the concept. And I had all these responses with people telling me that I'm wrong or that I missed the nuance, right? And like for one thing, you can't like have all the nuance ever in a post. It's like a fool's errand.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I mean, some of that shit is like on purpose because I'm like purposely like engagement baiting people to respond to it so it could like get some traction, right?
Yeah, like, and you also have to consider a lot of people just will just hallucinate a version of the post you didn't make in their head and then just like say some bullshit based off their fabricated reality, and I'm supposed to be like, what do you want me to say here, man? You just made something up to be mad about.
Real fucking like, oh, so you hate waffles ass shit. Oh, so you hate waffles? I mean,
yeah, not even like hey waffles. Sometimes it's just like you'll post a thing about pancakes and be like, why would you say that about my dad? He died in Vietnam. It's like, what?
Yeah, oh my god!
Are you a bot?
It's funny when people like bring up like, oh my god, I was in this server and people were talking about like I think we were talking about kind of like stuff related to city policy or whatnot, and I mentioned like, well, people aren't gonna like, there's gonna be less crime or less blah blah blah. Less issues for the city if more people have their needs met, and I kept it like that. If more people have their needs met, and because in my head I'm thinking like food, water, public transportation, really basic shit that helps out someone in a city. But some person like make the accusation being like, oh, so like if their need is that they want to kill people, you're okay with that? And it's like, what the fuck?
What, you've been just brain mogged by that argument. Like, what do you do if John Murder comes in? It's like, I love killing people,
but I have a need to kill people. That's my favorite
activity.
And I
need to do it.
And I respond saying like, wanting to kill people isn't a need. And this person like got mad at like they said something like well, tell that to like my friends like abusive parents who were beating the shit out of them, and I'm like, I don't fucking.
He's pulling the abusive parents card.
What does that have to do with like? their parents
Well,
didn't.
ball's in your court. My friend's parents beat him. Your move, champ.
It's just so, yeah. It's like, and I've encountered other people like that too, where like they have this counter argument in their head that is unrelated, but they think they're on topic. Like even in another situation I was talking to people about like mental illness and like well the thing is that what people don't realize is a lot of people who suffer from mental illness are more likely victims than you know, anyone who can prey upon victims. It isn't like in the movies where like psychopaths are like masterminds, or like schizophrenic people are these like criminals that get away with crime, you know. And I had this guy respond to me saying like, oh, but you know, like I knew a guy who was schizophrenic and his dad would beat the shit out of him. I'm like, okay, well, in that case he's the victim, dude. And
yeah,
like,
I like that. You're proving my point.
Yeah, because it's like, what? Like, do you think it's his fault he gets his ass beat by his parents? Like,
I think it really is just some people just have very poor reading comprehension and will just like type something without fully reading what is said, or they just misread something, and then it's like, okay,
there was
well, you're wrong.
There's this TikTok I saw about the guy who like always asks like the worst questions, where like it's you go up to him and be like, oh, I just got into a car accident, and the guy says like, oh, don't you use that to get to work? And it's like, oh, thanks. Yeah, like, oh, that's a very fucking thanks, dude. Yeah, that's, you added a lot to this conversation. You said you really are fucking you spread the seeds, you add the fertilization, you poured the water over this conversation, and you just let it grow, dude. You're fucking gardener.
You're right. I do need that to get to work. I also would die, which I also need my life to get to in order to get to work.
That's true.
So, you know, two birds with one stone there.
That's very, very considerate people. That being said, like, yeah. I feel like people should be social. Talk more to people. Don't let like annoying interactions like stop you from wanting to talk to people, because like you gotta socialize. I think it's the same like working out any kind of muscle. You gotta like be able to talk to people, because like I feel like some people. I feel like it's very important to like build a tolerance to annoying people, because I feel like that's a type of annoying person that people don't talk enough about. There's the person who hasn't encountered enough annoying people, and because they haven't encountered enough annoying people, they themselves are annoying, or they like they don't believe a certain type of like. This is why I think it's very important. You build a character if you work customer service, because you interact with so many like awful people, so many you always meet a new breed of annoying person in customer service. So like your idea of the possibility of humanity is expanded when you meet like new types of customers, and not expanded in the like, and like, oh, like we about like important knowledge like space or math. I mean like in like how many times are you going to meet the variation of like, oh, so you hate waffle type guy out in the wild, right? Because
it's kind of like having you're kind of like Goku in the instance, because you have to encounter those kind of people, but you have the weights on. You can't just yell at them. You can't just beat them with your hands. You have to be like, yeah, dude, I guess I do hate waffles. Sorry about that. And you have a good one.
And it also helps you self-reflect, because sometimes you could have the epiphany moment where you meet a type of annoying person and you wonder, am I this person? Because what they're saying sounds like stuff I might have said before, and I'm like, damn, maybe I need to like watch what I say, because this is how I'm coming off to people, you know. Right.
Yeah, no, it definitely, there's definitely a lot of good self-reflection there when you do meet someone who is annoying in a way that you have felt before, and you're like, oh, I just thought that was fine. Is that how I sound coming to other people? Oh man, I don't want that.
Right. I don't want to be this guy. This is the guy I don't fucking want to end up as, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that is very crucial. I'm I'm trying to tie this back into fandom. I think this is related.
Well, if you want to deal with a lot of different annoying people, just join a fandom Discord. You'll meet all kinds, and you can kind of speed run it. You can kind of just mainline a bunch of annoying people, and you come out of it better once you leave the server and realize this is a bad idea.
That's true. Yeah, and when you're young, when you have the energy, you gotta like fucking take like shots of annoying people, like fucking just gunshotting like annoying people one after another. So you like, so you mold yourself. I hate it when I have a coworker, like usually a youngish, newish guy who hasn't been humbled yet, you know, when it comes to
what do you mean humbled?
Who hasn't like met who hasn't seen the evils of customers, who hasn't seen like how far a customer will go to do like weird, specific, like annoying shit to you, you know. And the thing is, like, the customer isn't like it's very easy to assume a customer is malicious. That's like the easiest thing in the world. But sometimes people just do terrible things because it's like a default mode, you know, not because they decide to. Sometimes it's mostly like neglect or ignorance, you know. A lot of people are like sleepwalking through life. You don't realize how much people are just sleepwalking through life when they don't like retain like basic information from like things they encountered, you know. Like, someone would fucking watch all the Batman movies and then never remember that his real name is Bruce Wayne. You know, it's like shit like that, you know. And I think it's very important to interact with these types of people, and then you build like a tolerance, but not just like a tolerance. Like, I don't want you to become the annoying person fascist, you know, where like you're like, oh, we gotta build camps for annoying people. Sometimes I do get like that, where I'm like, oh yeah, we need to build some camps for customers and shit like that.
Yeah,
but
no, there definitely is. When you talk about like the annoying person fascist, that is the type of person I see online and on real life, online a lot, where it's like this, you know, fandom thing, or these people who act this way are so annoying, we have to do something about it. It's like, man, I don't know. Like, maybe just stop getting arguments with 12-year-olds on Twitter all the time.
See, that's the thing too.
Maybe if you stopped arguing with teenagers,
that's true,
you would not encounter as many of these people.
That is so true. I really I'll say this. I'm not trying to make myself seem pure of heart with this, but I remember that I can't remember a moment where like I felt like, oh, I don't want to be part of this fan. I don't want to enjoy, for example, I don't want to enjoy the Amazing Digital Circus because the fandom is like so annoying, and it's like, but the fandom isn't the show. Like, you can just watch the show. Like, you don't have to participate in anything.
Yeah, that stuff, I never really got that, like the whole, like, not like it's because of the fandom, because like you don't have to, like, just don't get into fights with teenagers on Twitter and you'll be fine. Just fucking watch the show and talk to people your own age that also are like-minded on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. I mean, everything with fandom stuff I keep to my like private like server, unless like I mean, sometimes I'll say like I'll have a fandom take, mostly like if I because it is annoying when like you post something and then everyone assumes the worst out of you, like when everyone was attacking my goat Lindsay Ellis for her take on, what was it called? I forget the name of the fucking movie she was talking about. No one gave a shit about that. Yeah,
there's like Raya and the Last Dragon.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
Even like or even people were doing with Gooseworks, right? Where it's just like people assume just the worst out of you, mostly because it's clear they just don't like you.
That's true. Oh, you know what? I was thinking about this, Bo. Like, okay, isn't it like, okay, so this whole controversy happening with like Digital Circus, all this bullshit, isn't it like kind of nice that it's happening now, right before the last episode? Like let's say hypothetically you had an epic show that everyone liked, and you knew controversy was coming though, and it could be any controversy, but you knew it was heading your direction. But let's say this, you had a choice of when that controversy will happen. When would you like that controversy to happen? Wouldn't you want that to kind of happen towards the end of the show, right?
Yeah, like at the last episode where 1 million theaters have already been sold out all over for it. Like, you've essentially cemented it as like in some sort of legacy and be like, yeah, whatever. I said some edgy things in a Jackbox stream. Who cares?
Right, exactly. Like it's
6 years ago.
Perfect timing. Like, and it's just so yeah. Like I think like this is like the best case scenario for Gooseworks, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that they didn't like, I don't know if, I won't say they didn't like it, I don't know the person, but it's clear they were showing some sort of like, man, I'm kind of sick of all this. Like, you know, the way that any artist who makes something that's too popular gets, like, you know, that sort of Matt Groening syndrome where like, I kind of don't want to be this scene all the time. And like, I'm sure that they probably saw this as a bit of a blessing where it's like, oh, thank God, they think I'm racist or whatever. I can fucking get rid of these people.
Thank God they think I'm racist after I made my millions.
Yeah, I can retire to fucking Vietnam or whatever.
With fucking Matt Groening, like I don't think Matt Groening has the right to say like, oh, I'm so annoyed by all these riches I've made. Fucking greedy fuck. You're not even doing anything. You're not even like. You're not even like the.
He's already done it all. He's you know he's made his money and he's got his bag and now I'm sure he probably doesn't care anymore because you know he hasn't had any involvement with his show for like
forever. Even at the
shows.
At the start, I don't feel like he's been like. I never got the impression where like for example something like Steven Universe, I feel like you could really like feel Rebecca Sugar, like her like artistic intent, her creative drive to me is very obvious in Steven Universe. Like every direction, even the stuff that like people might not necessarily like. I feel like, well, this also comes from like Rebecca. It's like her choices. I feel ultimately, you know, sure it's a team effort, like all these things are, but like. I very much feel Rebecca in it. I don't feel like Matt Groening in The Simpsons. Like I don't like. I'm not exactly sure what, like, because what is it about? Maybe someone can explain this to me better. But like, what's like the Matt Groening feel? Because I've read his comics. I read like Life in Hell, and I'm like, oh, I could kind of see like there's a similar. Well, not even really. Like I wouldn't say the humor is too similar, like from like both. To be honest,
it's definitely one of those things where he definitely got a bunch of like Harvard guys that were like really good at writing very specific comedy, and he probably was like, oh, I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. Because like even like in a lot of the commentary for a lot of Simpsons stuff, there's a lot of like jokes or like things in the art that Matt Groening's like, I don't like that, or I don't like this, or I'm not a fan of this joke. Like he'll be like, Homer's pupils are too big, and everyone's like, shut up, man.
It's so I guess maybe he's trying to come off as humbled, I guess, but like. I mean, I think Matt
Groening is an artist who's never been humbled. I think.
I think from the things I've heard of Matt Groening choices is that he was very much pro keeping the Simpsons yellow. He's all like, oh, I like that. They're fucking they're yellow freaks. That's awesome. Oh, epic yellow freaks. Yeah. But
I think a big thing about his thing was he didn't want the Simpsons to look like, you know, a cartoon. He wanted it to look like, you know, he wanted everyone to kind of look like wall-eyed freaks who kind of acted like regular people to an extent. And
right.
Like, he didn't want them to have like cutesy eyes or expressions and stuff. Because like there was that test footage of like the first episode of Simpsons that looked very Disney-esque that everyone was like, why didn't Matt Groening like this? This looks so cool. It's like, because it looks like a fucking Disney cartoon. And that's not what he wanted.
Yeah, that's not the vibe, you know. But
yeah.
It's like the people who like I heard this like the epic like I heard this from another podcast talking about another podcast about like these guys that were complaining about Penny and Stocking being like they hate the art style but they love the transformation scenes because that when it looks more traditional anime and they wish the rest of the show just looked like that.
that is so crazy. I can't imagine. Like, do you just not have a soul or something to dislike that art style? That's just
true.
Boring to me.
But I think it's very important that people interact with people who have annoying opinions like that because now you're that you have to see how expansive the human experience is. A guy like this, out in the street walking around, is a guy who doesn't like the panty and stocking art style, right? These people
they're
exist
out there, and you have to interact with people who are just like unensouled. They just have nothing in their eyes, and you have to look at them and be like, "You're a person just like me," and that's how you learn what being a person's all about.
Right, exactly. Like, and people use the word NPC because like they can't fathom the idea that this guy has as much soul as I do, right? That it's
like they do.
Yeah, they do. We're
like,
people.
Yeah, no, you might know more about fucking PlayStation 2 games than this guy, but he probably knows more about changing a car tire.
Maybe
like,
he does.
Everyone's got their own things.
Who knows? And the thing is, like, you don't even need to know anything useful. You could just be a guy who has half knowledge on everything, barely knows how to read, barely knows how to do math. But it's like they make enough money that they could keep themselves fed, and they can like live a decent length of life, right?
They can buy their eight elf bars a week they need to live.
Right, exactly. And I'm thinking back. All I'm trying to say is fuck Matt Groening. We knew you were on the Epstein. We knew you were on the Epstein flight log, bro. We see your name. Fuck you.
I'm just saying I'm an empath, so I've always seen a dark aura around Matt Groening, and I never wanted to say anything because I always say I see dark auras around people and no one believes me. Well, I guess the boy didn't cry wolf this time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. He was a boss battle in the Simpsons game. That should have been the red flag right there,
That really feels like a real metatextual thing. Matt Groening saw the Simpsons game. It was like, can you just have a scene where the Simpsons just beat me to death? I kind of don't want to live anymore, dog.
He was trying to perceive himself to be humble. Like, no, guys, I'm learning. Marge Simpson could kick my ass in this video game now.
Marge Simpson could stomp on my balls with her big sexy heels. Don't worry about it.
Fuck you, Matt. Bring back Panther Marge. Give her big pendulum tits that they're swinging around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Come on now. We need a part 2 to that pronto.
Right. Exactly. All will be forgiven if you do that.
If she's got fat naturals in the next season that everyone's watching.
Okay, Spo. What if gun to your head, Spo. A guy comes up to you, gun to your head, asks you to name your favorite one-off joke Simpsons character. Who would you pick?
I got the guns pressed against my temple.
Right.
I'm thinking straight. I'm thinking as hard as I can. I blurt out, "Just stamp the ticket, man." I think that's what I gotta go with.
I think I would say Little Mo Sislak would be mine.
That's a good one.
This could be like a drinking game where I've seen variations of this where it's kind of like one person has to say something and the other person has to respond back to it. So do a drinking game. You need several Simpsons experts, and you do a drinking game where each one has to name an obscure one-off Simpsons character, one after the other, and it can't be a character who has shown up before. They have to be a one-off joke character. So, and if you can't think of one, you have to take a shot.
They can't have they gotta have they can't have a canonical name. It's gotta be Squeaky Voice Teen, Just Stamp the Ticket Man, fucking one of those types. Maybe Database, all right, but that's stretching.
There's a couple of characters that I want of that have names, a Comic Book Gay has a name.
Comic Book Gay has a name?
That's his name. His name is Comic Book Gay because I think what Smithers sees him. It's Comic Book Guy, you're gay. He's like, no, that's my cousin. I am Comic Book Gay. See, that's how you.
Oh damn, that's cool.
Yeah, you trip them up by because I think someone will use older Simpsons characters, older one-off characters to kind of win at the game, but the trick is to kind of say modern ones because less people are watching those, right? And you could
that's the way to throw them for a loop. You're right.
Right, exactly. I think you can't say Disco Stew. Disco Stew doesn't count because he's been there so often that he's just another fucking background character. He's been elevated.
Disco Stew's like a damn brother to me. All right, he is not obscure.
He is. There's gonna be like more cartoons need to pick like a one-off weird genre. Like in the year 2043, there's gonna be like Vaporwave guy as a background character for someone's like show, you know, right? You could probably do a Vaporwave guy now. Like I think it's been long enough, you know.
Yeah, no, I think I feel like that's a Family Guy episode, you know, called Vaporwave Guy.
Yeah, you know, is it weird that we were talking earlier about Matt Groening and how I don't really feel his presence, and we might get a comment where someone explains like, no, Matt Groening's the heart of the show, blah blah blah. We might get, if it is, go ahead, write that down in the comment section. I don't care. But I feel like with Family Guy and American Dad and all the other shows, and even up to Ted, I feel like there's a consistency there. Like I could tell this is like Seth MacFarlane. Do you feel the same, Spo? Do you think I'm crazy?
Yeah, no, there's definitely a core to Seth MacFarlane's sort of humor that I think definitely shines out, especially in like the Ted Show or like early Family Guy. I don't know so much about American Dad. I feel like he definitely just like handed that over to other people at very early on, and he just kind of voiced the characters at a certain point. But yeah, no, I definitely think he definitely had a bit more to say, even if a lot of it was just like pop culture references or just sort of the idea, or that almost like that proto Smiling Friends idea of like wacky situations when everyone's just talking normally.
Yeah, true. Let's see, but yeah, that being said, I think it is very I think it's cringy when people say a fandom is too cringy, that they don't want to enjoy whatever piece of media that fandom like revolves around, you know. I was thinking back to like I mentioned earlier that I think the first time I like was deep into a fandom was like with the PCP podcast, but even before that I was kind of like do you would you say, have you ever been like kind of like, I guess, a lurker before, Spo, like someone who is into something and you see the fandom but you never interact, you're just like kind of hovering over it, you know, like spectator mode, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's how it always starts with a lot of things. You sort of lurk in like different communities and spaces before you like dip your toes in to see what you've got. And I think when it came to like podcasts and stuff, I was definitely a huge fan of like Sleepycast when that was a thing.
I could tell.
You know, I didn't really have like didn't really have a community to for that kind of stuff. It was very I wouldn't say anti-fandom, but it was definitely made in the era right before Discord really popped off, so there wasn't really that sort of way to make that space. So it really was just like a oh yeah, I guess I'll listen to this thing and look stuff up on Tumblr, I guess.
I gotcha.
But
before I get to my wider point, I just want to say this now, make this official. Let's say hypothetically we become super popular with this podcast. Yeah. I don't want a Discord server. I think it'd be hell to manage a Discord server. I wouldn't want to like put either of us in that situation. I think I'm fine with a Reddit. If there was a Reddit, I think that's okay. But a Discord server, like, nah, I'm not interested in like running something like that. What do you think?
But I mean, you know, if you have a Discord server, you could just think of all the drama opportunities.
Oh boy, yeah. I got groomed in the Fupa Fellas Discord server, and all I got was a shirt.
There's like 5 years in the future, there'll be someone who makes a video essay that gets like 11 million views that says there was no super
Discord server.
the most fucked up podcast server ever. There was this one mod groomed 12 million people. It's like, holy shit! I didn't know there was that many in the server.
The LeBron James of groomer. Crazy. The LeBron James of Discord.
The LeBron of groomer. That does remind me. When it comes to like, there was one server I tried to lurk in because, like, you know, I was in like the mid 2010s. I was, you know, fledgling NSFW artist, and I was like trying to get in that scene. And I saw that Shadman had a server. And I was like, well,
boy.
he hasn't been called out as problematic yet. So everyone thought he was cool. So I went into there to lurk, and I was like, wow, this is like a circle of hell that I never would have thought, because it was like there was like voice calls with hundreds of people in them, and I was like, man,
you know,
I can't. You just, I think when you go in there, you just like enter a zen state of all the people talking over each other, right?
Yeah, no, I think I was in the Shadman server for a second, but I also never interacted with it, because I do once you said like, oh, there was just voice calls with 100 people, I'm like, oh, wait, that sounds super familiar. I swear I think I saw that too, where like a shitload of people in a voice call, and that does sound like hell. Like why would they allow this? I mean, I guess most likely what it is that they had that for like normal people, and then they had their own private voice call. Because I remember it was a similar situation in the Tarhead server, which I was in there for a quick second too, but then I left a little bit before he got fucking caught too for being like for talking with underage people as well. I don't know if people remember the whole Tarhead situation.
Who is Tarhead?
Okay, do you remember that? I think it was 2000. Okay, it was 2021. Yeah, I think that was 2021. That summer, a whole series of different like Twitter artists were being caught as groomers and like pedophiles. That was the same summer John Bob got caught. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it was like John Bob, Tarhead, that one guy who drew like that Inkling comic. I forget. It was also I think Omelet County got caught around the same time. I don't know if you remember Omelet County.
Oh yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was that whole little cycle there.
This is the same shit with like, with talking about any drama. You're like, yeah, man. Have you heard about fucking Donkey Sploink and what happened to that? Like,
have you heard about Wiz Pookums, dude? He it turns out he killed a family of 8.
I had a buddy who, like, the default name he would give everyone was Poop Snifter. Like, oh no, Poop Snifter turned out to be a pedophile.
Poop Snifter turned out to be the LeBron of pedophiles. Who could have seen it coming?
The LeBron of pedophiles. Fucking, I might have said this before on the podcast. If I have, everyone in the comments say, yes, you've said this before, Cheesy. But I remember I was in a voice call, and on Twitter, okay, so there's the YouTube animator, Doobus Goobus, and he was getting into a beef with this guy on Twitter called, like, Ghetto Smosh. And I unironically in the server said, like, oh, you know, Doobus Goobus is beefing with Ghetto Smosh, and everyone laughed because everyone like, who the fuck are those people?
That's like the same energy as like the Grundle King letting out all of his like slume or whatever. Right?
No, but
it's like that's what they said in the My Little Pony movie.
Okay,
He's like, Doobus Goobus is beefing with Ghetto Smosh and Ponyville.
the Schmooze, it's taken over a Grundle Kingdom. The what kingdom? The Grundle King. The Grundle King. The Grundle King, he's being affected by the Schmooze. Like,
the Grundle King, he got affected by the Schmooze. You haven't heard of this?
He's lost his land, his homeland to the Schmooze.
He's lost his homeland. 12 billion people.
12 million Grundles have died to the Schmooze.
12 billion Grundles fell into the Schmooze.
There is no way. There's people who don't even believe that they think the Schmooze is fake. No way that many Grundles would have been killed by the Schmooze.
They're just 6 million Grundles. I don't think so. But the Schmooze, it works fast and it works hard.
It would be funny if like it's like Fluttershy. Like there's no way a Schmooze could kill that many Grundles.
She's like, Jesus Christ, Fluttershy, you deny the Schmooze a cost?
You just they lost their land. Like they have to move to Ponyville now. Fluttershy like, no, I just don't trust Grundles. I don't think we should let Grundles in our community.
Yeah, no, that was happening. That episode of Friendship is Magic happened like well after Lauren Faust left, and the people who made My Little Pony realized how many white nationalists watch the show. They're like, we got to make Fluttershy racist.
It's funny. Fucking it's really cool how there's like, I think there's like several deliberate like anti-racism episodes in My Little Pony, but there's so many like white supremacists who love My Little Pony.
It is really cool. I still see them like today, like white supremacists with MLP icons. Like, man, you're fighting the good fight, man.
It's crazy. Really makes you think. But that being said,
really does.
Before we got off topic about the Grundle genocide, so yeah, in this voice call, I just casually said like, "Oh, you know that Dubis Goobis is beefing with Ghetto Smosh," and everyone laughed and were all like, "What the fuck are you saying?" And I recently reiterated this in a Twitter post, and fucking Dubis Goobis liked the post. And I might have said this before, but I think there's a huge benefit to giving yourself the most fucking silliest name possible, so that when controversy happens, nothing's gonna half of people are gonna take it seriously because everyone's name is fucking ridiculous, you know. That's the strat.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to dodge the allegations. If you've got any, you know, any creator out there with allegations, change your name right now. That's what we're saying.
If Jeffrey Epstein had a sillier name, none of the allegations would have stuck. Like if his name was unironically Palm Beach P, like.
if his name was Grundle King, he'd be fine.
That's fucked up. Did you know the Grundle King is voiced by Danny DeVito? I'm not even joking. He voices the Grundle King in the My Little Pony movie.
He also is the Grundle King in real life.
Cheesy, that's so weird. He plays the Grundle King in Always Sunny too.
That's like a famous character he plays in there.
I'm the Grundle King.
I'm a Grundle.
I'm gonna go up to Danny DeVito like with a printed picture of the Grundle King and be like, "Hey, can you sign this for me?" Do you think he'll remember?
Just not even at a convention, just out in public.
If I see him at fucking like Jersey Mike's, he's like the spokesperson now for Jersey Mike's, and I'm like, "Yo, can you sign this for me, Danny DeVito?" You think he'll be like, "What the fuck is this weird freak?" Or do you think he'll be like, "Oh, the Grundle King, my favorite role"?
Yeah, I genuinely think he probably memory hold the Grundle King. I think if you sent that to him, he would have someone tackle you.
It'd be really funny if like he remembers the Grundle King, but you go up to him with like a still from the movie Twins, starring him and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he has no idea who the fuck that guy. Like, what was this? Like,
where'd you find this picture of me and Arnold Schwarzenegger?
He has like the same whatever disorder Frankie Muniz has, where he can't remember the majority of like Malcolm in the Middle. Actually, no, wasn't it like a car accident?
Yeah.
Something happened. Like I think it was an accident. And he just can't remember the majority of Malcolm in the Middle. Like he'll see a clip and be like, "When the fuck did this happen?"
Yeah, Frankie Muniz actually medically has a bullet in his neck, and it got a hit with lightning, and he couldn't remember Malcolm in the Middle.
My God. Are you sure that was Frankie? That's more like Frankie Stein Newman. Frankenstein Newman.
Right. Like, they have the same first name.
Damn, good job, Cheesy. 10 out of 10 pun. Really rolled off the tongue when I said it.
Rolled off the tongue. Great one.
Another one for the books. I love the trend of people receiving some sort of brain damage and becoming MAGA. That's kind of what happened to Frankie Muniz. That happened to John Fetterman too. So it's like it just kind of keeps happening, right? You need a little bit of brain damage.
Like the reason he wears the hat now is because there's like a visible dent in his head, and he needed to put that on to cover it. And he was just like, I kind of like how this hat covers my head dent now.
No, I'm not. What if people just walked around with a hat that says like, "This hat is not covering my head dent. Stop asking."
I think that's the first piece of Fupa Fellas merchandise. I think
we sell hats that say, "This hat is not covering my head dent. Stop asking." Or like we get hats that's like in the shape of like food or something, like those giant like sandwiches that Shaggy makes, and you make the hat in the shape of that, and then you write on it like, "I'm not hiding a sandwich under this hat. Stop asking."
There's not a rat controlling me under this hat. Stop asking.
That's a good one. Actually, make it a big ass hat. Yeah. Don't do the chef hat, but just make it like a regular baseball hat that's huge, and there isn't a rat under here controlling me.
just a tall as fuck trucker hat.
What if just one day like Trump, like he gets on TV and he just has a hat that says that there isn't a rat under my head, that under this hat that's controlling me.
The press is like, I'm pretty sure there's a rat under there. And it was like, God, can't you read?
It's like, Mr. President, is there a rat under your hat controlling you? And then he'll be like, I'm sorry, who are with you, CNN? Yeah, fake news. I knew you'd ask me that question.
I always knew you'd ask me the question about the rat under there. As you can see, the hat says there's no rat under there.
There's no rat under there. Okay, but use the fake news. You, of course, obviously ask your question, obviously, but you're fake news. And I can
that'd be awesome.
Go to my therapist wearing that hat. It's like, I think there might be a rat under your head controlling it. You'd have
it's like, sir, could you please take your hat off? Why are you trying to see something? There's nothing under there. Why would you want me to take the hat off?
Get the giant cheese wheel, like the giant one that's covered in wax, where you can like peel it open and eat the cheese. Get like a massive one, like a cartoonish one. Just walk around with it, just eating it, wearing the hat. Because people are gonna be like, they're gonna see you like, why the fuck is he just eating? Like he's like at Disneyland, he's eating a giant like cheese. They don't even sell it there. And you're not even sure how he got it in, because it would have stopped him.
He brought that from home.
And he's eating this like cheese wheel, and he's wearing the hat that says there's not a rat under his hat that's controlling me.
So it's like, well, yeah, obviously, what would the rat get out of him eating the cheese? When the rat eat the cheese, obviously there's not a rat under there controlling him.
No, you're right, because like, why would the rat want him to eat the rat would want the cheese, right? Not him.
Yeah.
So this is his own choice.
He's not connected at the mouth, unless this is like a human centipede situation where the rat is in control and connected that way.
He walks around eating the cheese casually. That's like his go-to snack already, right? And everyone just kept like, and he already had the big hat. It had no text on it, but everyone would just like ask him like, dude, is there like a rat under your head, like Ratatouille controlling you eating the cheese? And he's like, no, that's stupid, because I'm eating the cheese. Wouldn't the rat in the hat want the cheese? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Stop asking me that. And he gets so bombarded with this question everywhere he goes. He's very public. He goes everywhere, you know? So he has to put the text on the hat, because, I mean, think about it, Spo. It's unfair that he has to change his lifestyle just because people are annoying, you know?
Yeah, no, he just likes to eat cheese. It's not that big of a deal, but these people, they keep harassing him.
They keep asking with this stupid-ass question.
He keeps getting harassed by these Disney adults who are like, oh my God, it's like Ratatouille. That's like from my childhood. And you're like, fuck off. I'm eating my cheese in peace.
Leave me the fuck alone, asshole. Yeah, so yeah, big. All right.
Yeah, so fandoms are pretty cool sometimes.
Sometimes they could be cool. Sometimes a fandom could be a podcast selling you a hat that says, "There's no rat under this hat that's controlling me. Stop asking." You know, something I learned. I saw that the Mega 64 podcast does this. I guess Mega 64 in general does this, where like. Their merch isn't just like their logo on a shirt or a hoodie. Their merch is like good looking first, like it's kind of stylistic first, and then they add their like little logo somewhere in there, you know? So people get the impression that, oh, this isn't merch for a podcast. No, this is just stylish clothes, and then it has like but it's for a podcast. Like that's how they get you, you know? And I think that's it's a really good strat.
Yeah, no, I think I think when it comes to graphic tees or like, fandom shirts like that is something that I always admire more, is something that looks neat just as a standalone design, like, more so than just like something that's just a PNG of the character or like a logo, because that's just kind of boring.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have this rule, and I had this rule since high school. I will avoid, like, the go-to example, but this goes for any kind of shirt. I avoid wearing anything with Batman on it, you know? Because in general, I
Yeah.
don't want to talk to like Batman fans, you know. I I cause that's something that would happen, and I would notice is like you wear like a nerdy shirt, and then people like be like, "Oh, you like My Little Pony too?" Like, you know. But do you want to talk to these people out in the wild? Like, no, I don't, because my and you know, it might make me snooty, might make me look egotistical, but I feel like my opinions and nuances are Batman are a little bit too elevated for the general public. Okay, bud, a little bit too big brain.
Your brain is too big for Batman. You probably don't even know that his name's Bruce Wayne.
Right.
All right, I do.
I know those things. Okay, I've I read a couple. I read a couple of comics. I read The Dark Knight Returns, buddy. I know a little. I think I know a little bit about Batman. I think I know a little bit more than you do, to be honest. Yeah, I bet your favorite Batman movie is a live action Batman movie. All right, bud. All right, so don't be fucking comparing yourself to me. Okay, but in general, I really don't really. I have to know someone first. I have to know someone is chill before I could talk to them about like nerdy things, you know. Because like if you go in like guns blazing with the nerdy topics, you're gonna either get people like being like, "Oh, this guy's like a nerd," or they're not gonna know how to engage. You know, you got to show people that that you're normal, right? Or you.
Yeah, you got to show that you're normal, can hold a conversation, because like there are a lot of people who like you try to talk to them about this kind of stuff, and like they're just blurt out factoids they saw in a YouTube video, or they're just like not even really listening to you and just waiting for their turn to talk.
Yeah, not true. But I remember recently I got this one like button up from like Walmart that has like Toad on it from Mario, and like it has different colored Toads. It's a really nice looking shirt. And I wore it to work, and this one guy who seemed like he was on something, like he seemed kind of high. That's crucial. That's crucial to the story. That's an important detail. I
see.
He went up to me like, and I'm behind the register, and he's like, "Oh, dude!" Like he looked at my shirt, like, "Oh man, hey, dude, did you see that one show about the guy with the like the blue mushroom that heals everything?" And I'm like to him like, "Oh, Common Side Effects?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, that show is fucking crazy, man. That show is wild." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's a good show."
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm just being nice, right? But he's like, "Yeah, man, that's a fucking awesome show." And then he's like, "Do you watch anime?" Was his next question.
It's just he was just zonked.
Yeah, he was just zonked. I'm like, yeah, like I mean, yeah, I watch anime. But then his buddies were leaving, but then he had to go. He's like, "All right, man, it's good. You be good." And then he left, right? And I'm like,
yeah,
that's not the worst. That's like not like a nightmare scenario when it comes. But I've been in the nightmare scenario where like someone brings up like a nerd. Someone will. I think one of the worst scenarios I've been in was having like I was having a conversation with someone else, and this one person butts in, and they ask like "Oh, well, like how come like Deadpool can regenerate, blah blah blah," kind of fucking fuck ass questions, and a part of me is like, I'm just gonna ignore this guy, and then the same guy who asked the question answers the question, and it's like, oh, he doesn't want to talk to people, he just wants to hear himself talk, you know. He wants to like be perceived as a guy.
So he answered his. He answered
his own question.
So that's just a man talking to himself.
Pretty much, right? Well, the thing is, like, he asked that question and we try to answer it, but then he kind of like ignores what we said, and then he gives his own answer, right? And it's like, all right, bud. And it's like, this isn't how you fucking talk to people, you know?
Yeah, no, this isn't how you can't like posit a question to everyone and then like answer it yourself. You're not the fucking teacher. All right.
True. You know, that being said though, let me ask you this. I've been seeing this going around, and I was talking to my partner about this, but there's this method. This isn't a new method of conversation, but like it's something that I've been seeing making the rounds. but they're calling it the solid snake method. Do you know what I'm talking about, Spo?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I've definitely done that before, and it definitely does work. But explain to the audience for those who may not
Pretty
know.
much, it's like when you're talking to someone, you just kind of repeat, not necessarily the last thing they said, but usually like the last noun, it seems like, or the last kind of like the last word that seemed very crucial to the conversation, and then like people keep talking. That becomes like the signifier to continue the conversation, right? You know, and that's like a
Yeah,
way to like listen to someone. That being said, and it's funny you said that like it works for you, Spo, which is fine because I do believe it when people say it works for them. I'm gonna say two things. One is that like this to me this almost feels like low key a curb your enthusiasm style setup where like I hear about this I hear about this method and then I go to try it and then I accidentally try it on the one person it doesn't work with. you know
yeah. No, you're just talking to someone. It's like, oh yeah, things haven't been so good since my little sister died, and you're like, little sister died.
because when you say it like that it sounds like you're almost making fun of them. Right. Like,
Little sister died, you say. Can you explain more? It's like, oh yeah, well, that brain tumor that was in her head when she was 6 years old. 6 years old. That's when she died.
right, like I'm gonna get the one guy who gets mad at me because like they're gonna think like, why are they just repeating the last thing I said? The fuck, are they like making fun of me? Like because I believe it does work on people, but I also believe me personally, I'm gonna run into the one guy it doesn't work with.
You just think you think in this sort of sitcom-esque scenario you're gonna run into this situation where you accidentally piss someone
Right.
off. I see what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. And also another thing, because I kept talking to my partner about this, and I think I learned something about myself. I think when it comes to conversations, I personally do not like it when usually a stranger. I do not like it when a stranger has control over the conversation. You know, like I don't
Yeah.
want if I don't want someone I don't know to control the conversation because I usually I've had a lot of experiences where they take the conversation somewhere that I don't want to like be involved in. Right? So I always try to kind of like steer conversation or like throw people off or say things that kind of like shift the conversation, you know what I'm saying? Right? And
Yeah.
I think like I think that's a very much like kind of like an asshole-ish tendency to do, but like low key it's
I
not
mean,
something I'm
it,
interested in
it,
changing.
it really depends on like what the that when you read the room, like if everyone's interested in it, then it's like, okay, well, if I'm steering it away, it's just something no one's interested
hmm
in, then it's like, what's the point? I might as well just like leave and go talk to some other group of people. Right.
Yeah, no. Yeah, in some situations it's like appropriate, right? Like you're right. Yeah, like if people are focused on on you talking, then it's fine, you know. But I have also been in those situations where like you're trying to talk about something, but the whole group is kind of like focusing on something else. It's that I forget the name of that one animator. He does like these little shorts, but it's like it's the one where the guy is like he's trying to encourage the group to get involved in the board game, but the rest of the group is more invested in just casually socializing in the party. And the guy's like, "Well, if you really focus on the game, you would realize that there's natural ways of socialization manifest while playing the game." And he's just like,
Yeah.
it's that thing where they're not like harassing or like bullying him, but like the fact that they're just not interested in playing the game is like a form of bullying for this guy. That being said, I think the short does end with like the buff jock guy just exploding his head with with his hand after he says that.
I've never heard of that, but I definitely know that situation pretty well,
hmm
especially since I've, I like tabletop games a lot. And you
hmm
definitely run into a lot of that kind of thing where people are just kind of talking or whatever.
hmm
And you sometimes just get the guy who's like, all right, let's rein this in. Let's make this more about the game here. And it's like, I don't think that's where this is heading right now, man. I think everyone here is just trying to have a good time.
Yeah, that's kind of I get how that's frustrating if this is something you planned in advance and you like are trying to like organize, you know, and then put people there. Like it's usually also about finding like the right group of people to do this with, you know.
Yeah.
Because some people are just not like interested, right? And in doing that.
Exactly.
Right. They never been taught as a child to focus on a game or like follow the rules, you know. Like it's funny when kids learn that the rules of the game only work if everyone is following them. And they realize like, yeah, but if I don't follow the rules, nothing actually bad happens to me. People just get mad at me, like, and that's not that bad. People get mad at me all the time, you know. Like, if I'm playing tag, I could just say, "Oh, I wasn't tagged," and then like if no one knows that I'm lying, like, you know, I can get away with it. Like, who cares? Like, you know, you like
exactly. You know, sometimes you gotta break the mold or whatever. You know. You just gotta just grab that soccer ball. Who cares?
Who cares, bro? You have free will, bro.
You're really gonna let a guy in a striped shirt tell you what to do? What are you? A slave?
I ain't no slave. Oh my god. But yeah. Fan I don't think we said anything crazy insightful about fandoms. I think we kept
I think we try to talk more about the broader social aspect of it, but yeah, you know, I think the only good fandom that will ever exist on the internet is the Fupa Fellas fandom. Exactly. All right, the Fupa fam, we're there for it.
Fandoms will never do anything evil or bad. Isn't that right, Spo? Nothing bad will ever happen out of the Fupa Fellas fandom. No fan is gonna do something awful in our name. No fan is gonna like publicly humiliate themselves or harass or just do atrocious things. That will never happen to the Fupa Fellas fandom.
We're doing you know, I can guarantee it won't happen. You know, we're going to do a nice Fupa Fam challenge here.
Be a good person.
Everyone who's a part of the Fupa Fam, post pictures of yourself supporting your local community, you know, donating to charity, doing things that all the other fandoms don't do.
Everything I just said is going to be clipped for like in 5 years. It's going to be a video essay like the rise and fall of the Fupa Fellas fandom, and that's going to be clipped in the beginning, and then they're going to talk about like, oh, the fucking Fupa Fella massacre or whatever. The Fupa.
Someone who screams subscribe to Fupa Fellas before like ramming their car into a house.
Oh my god! Right. It's gonna be like it's gonna be a fucking Walmart raid where people steal everything. Like, this is for the Fupa Fellas. They said this is okay.
Walmart has stocked up more Fupa Fellas rat hats, and everyone has gone ballistic.
They're scalping the rap hat.
A local 87-year-old Walmart greeter was flattened into paste from the trampling.
Damn, these rat hats, they really want their rat hats. Hey, what you say?
They want their rat hats. What can you say? The CEO of Walmart comes out to say, yeah, I mean, Gertrude got flattened, but, you know, it's part of the business. They want them rat hats.
They're interviewing, like, Fupa Fellas fans, and they're like, this isn't what the Fupa Fellas stand for. The Fupa Fellas are about community and love and family and loving our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. They wouldn't stand for none of this. This is not what they preach.
On the latest episode of the Fupa Fellas, they said, all that's kind of true. We're not so sure where they got the Jesus Christ thing.
I don't remember saying that. Actually, I remember being a very public atheist about this.
The Fupa Fellas are neither positive or negative on that. We just, you know, it just never comes up in conversation.
It never comes up, ever. We never bring it up, right? Oh my god. But, yeah, fandoms, they're wacky stuff, all right, guys. But
they sure are.
Okay. That being said, another Another thing, I'm just gonna smoothly move on to this other topic. Um, I was thinking about how do we how do we create the next girl of the month, if you will.
Next
You get
girl
what
of
I'm
the
saying?
month.
For the audience, the girl of the month would be like when a person comes up with like a popular character that everyone just starts drawing, right? And I think the most famous example of this is like Bowsette. Like Bowsette was like the girl of the
Yeah.
month, And I think another example was when people were drawing Ashley from the Resident Evil 4 remake as like a mouse. I think that also like made
Yeah.
the rounds a lot. So that's kind of what I mean by like girl of the month.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Spo? What's your
Well,
take on this?
it really depends on what kind of market we're trying to appeal to
Hmm.
here. Like we gotta look at who the main sort of consumers of that kind of art are, and what we want to do. I think we have to. I think the most surefire way is to make a girl who acts like a maladjusted guy, but maladjusted socially guy, but she's an attractive woman with fat
That's
tits.
that's very popular, very kind of like defaulty way. I was thinking about I'll say that I think what's also crucial is like the environment around it. And what I mean is that like okay, so for example with Bowsette, that whole thing was because like oh in the new Mario game, Toadette could become like a version of Princess Peach with like this princess like mushroom, right? And
Yeah,
and that whole like I think that was like part of DLC, so it had to do with a game that was coming out, and it kind of rides that, and that kind of like hits on the original artist who created Bowsette to create that and to kind of ride that wave. That being said, I think people totally because like I feel like if you ask anyone, they're not going to realize that that was a legit power up in the game. Because to me
yeah.
it
Like
gives
I
the same
think
energy as kind of
at
like a
least
fetish thing, like a fetish like gimmick, right?
yeah, it really is. I guess it could also just go to show that this thing came out and it was in spaces of like grown adults
Hmm.
who probably don't care about the latest new Super Mario Brothers game, but it definitely sort of over like eclipsed that concept of like a mushroom that turns some character into an attractive lady, sort of
Hmm.
canonically having that sort of overshadowed whatever DLC was happening there, and that was able to make people think, oh, you could do this with like a Chain Chomp or a Boo or Bowser or something, and it led to a lot of like potential for creativity. So maybe less like a girl and more like a MacGuffin,
A more
like that.
something that feeds into people's like need to be creative. So it has to be kind of like okay,
Yeah,
so because I mean, if you look at it, really, everything related with with the whole DLC for the game is kind of like a pre-established kind of audience. So you have that, and like, I mean,
yeah,
the fucking like, I don't know if I'd say fucked up, but the kind of the little thing about like how the specific adult fandom for Mario works for Nintendo in general is that they kind of make porn right away of anything, right? And
yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. Like Mario fans and Nintendo fans are kind of the proto bronies in
yeah.
a way, except they never got called out
That's
for it
true.
like bronies
Nintendo
did.
fans are going to become the new Disney adults. And I think what solidified it is just that the Mario Land amusement park is like well, the Mario Land section of Universal Studios exists now, and now this specific like
Yeah,
nostalgia is being catered to the same way it is for Disney adults. But
yeah.
but
No,
yeah, yeah.
no, it's like that. Now I was just agreeing with you. It's that sort of perfect crossroad between bronies and Disney adults. The same way that Pokemon is the perfect crossroad between furries and weeaboos that makes it so popular.
Yes, exactly. But that being said, I think I guess to run a checklist is like there has to be some sort of pre-established kind of fandom, and but it can't be just any kind of fandom. It has to be something that's like popular, a little bit mainstreamy, not necessarily but yeah, a little bit of mainstream kind of fandom appeal that it can like pivot towards, and it has to encourage people to interact with it. Like I think what was very helpful for Bowsette was that my bad. I think what was very helpful for Bowsette was she was introduced in a comic that kind of like explain the mechanics of how it works. And low-key, like the original comic also had kind of like a, I think unironically, there's a lot of stuff that gets super popular because it has kind of like an incel-y, kind of almost anti-women angle, I guess. Because wait, let me explain. Let me explain because I know.
Okay.
I know that was going to be the reaction, right? But like, if you look at the original like Bowsette comic, and the kind of like the angle is that the first panel is like Princess Peach rejecting like Mario and Bowser, right? I totally forgot this was post like Mario Odyssey too.
Yeah.
Right. And they're all like, oh, women reject us, so I'll just turn into a woman, right? And,
I forgot about the whole rejection angle. I thought it was like some other thing, but yeah, no. The conceit is, if a woman rejects you, just become gay and you'll be fine. But with this little MacGuffin, it won't be gay. Mm-hmm. You'll just turn your bro into a woman.
You know, it's kind of interesting how, like, how kind of like dangerously close that is to the fucking like right wing like men like anti-women like quasi Nazi femboy angle almost. Now that I think about it.
I think Nick Fuentes saw this comic and was like, "This is it. This is my ideology."
Right. It's just there's so many memes that like subtly like are very anti-women without people realizing. I think another example is that one like, oh, women with a time machine, and they go back in time and they're like, oh, I'm your granddaughter, and then the other's like, oh, no way, right?
Yeah.
And then men doing something that's like actually important or whatever the fuck, you know, that is like one of those memes that low-key is shitting on women. You know, so this comic has that angle. Like, you know, I'm not making any accusations about the creator. I'm not saying like the creator hates women.
Yeah, I don't think they meant it that way. But I see where you're coming from in a sense where like it could definitely be extrapolated if in bad faith to that way.
Yeah, but I feel like that kind of okay. So I'm saying that Loki is like part of the appeal, you know, because I was mentioning.
I think a lot of the appeal is just like people like Bowser, and they're like, "What if he was a sexy girl?"
That's one half of like what I'm saying is that this is an equation, Spo. We're building an equation. Yeah. You know, there's like different angles that that Bowsette hits. You know, and I think like unironically, this might be impossible to replicate. You know, this might be. In the same way that you can't replicate Barbenheimer, you know, you can't replicate this, you know. It kind of is like something that seems like so obvious from the get-go, like make Bowser a girl, but like this was able to sort of mix in a way that's like, yeah, no, it makes sense in whatever lore for people who care about Mario lore, and also it just sort of works in a way that can kind of you can really expand upon it to be anything. Like I know I drew plenty of stuff with that crown too. Like it's just sort of this interesting thing that you can't really replicate. Yeah, I did it too. Like because everyone was kind of like picking random like Mario characters to do that with. You know, I like was trying it too. I mean, like it was like a trend. It was like packaged in a lot of things. You know. So
yeah, we're trying to figure out how to make Bowsette in the lab so we can sell it to the
to the U.S. military.
The U.S. military is trying to make Bowsette in a tube. We saw it. All right, I jumped the fence at Area 51.
Fucking Baron wants to replicate Bowsette so they could control it. We want
Baron
yeah.
Baron Trump has commissioned so much Bowsette art, it's unreal. He has a monopoly on it. Every Bowsette drawing you've seen has been commissioned by Baron Trump.
This is like in the fucking like It TV show that came out where the American military is trying to control Pennywise as a weapon. So we're gonna manufacture a Bowsette, and we're gonna use her to create mass appeal towards Israel and the IDF. That's like the end goal.
Bowsette's real, and she's in Tel Aviv.
Lebanon has Bowsette. That's what we need to invade.
Lebanon has captured Bowsette. We have AI generated a video of Donald Trump as Mario to save him. Go over there and help Mario.
It's all part of the plan, Spo. This is the wider conspiracy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what makes the Bowsette phenomenon stand out is that how like also because like a Twitter art trend is one thing. Like okay, people like us, Spo. Us doing an art trend isn't really like groundbreaking, right? That's just part of usually how it goes down with the algorithms on social media. But like you had people like the guy who does the art for One Punch Man, the manga, drawing a Bowsette is kind of crazy because at that point it's like, oh, Bowsette has kind of broke the contamination as contaminated everything else. Bowsette not just him, like a bunch of other fucking people.
I mean, it's a concept that's like, again, just like so obvious when you think about it, but it's like no one's thought about it until at that point in like the late 2010s. So everyone was like, oh, this is an easy slam dunk now that it's been willed into the world.
Actually, now that you say that, Spo, I know for a fact, and you've probably seen this too, people have drawn like feminized Bowsers before, right? Like this isn't like a new thing necessarily. Yeah. But I think what it is that the stars aligning kind of thing where like, oh, but it's not just a feminine Bowser. It's specifically this concept that the comic like explains very simply, and Mario Odyssey, I think it came out like it's been a minute since when it came out after this comic, plus this DLC, plus like Nintendo, all this stuff like being popular, it all kind of like and I remember like a lot of people trying to break it down like why this became popular, and I don't think anyone really like hit the mark until we said this, but. Until we said it.
We've cracked the code. We've cracked Bowsette.
The Fupa Fellas cracked Bowsette.
There we go. There's our title.
That's a good idea. No, good idea because now people are gonna they're gonna watch the episode and be like, "When the fuck are you gonna talk about Bowsette?" They've just been talking about annoying people they met.
Been talking about a rat controlling someone eating cheese for like 20 minutes.
The Fupa Fellas have cracked the Bowsette formula, right? And now we're being targeted by the American Baron Trump has ordered like we need to get these Fupa Fellas. They're breaking it down.
We gotta kill the Fupa Fellas.
They gotta have to recreate it. But yeah, I think that's what it is. It's the comic, and the thing is that like a lot of people drawing Bowsette, they don't need to know about the comic. Like that's kind of like mimetic, like it's like just kind of like works, I wonder if you ask like a person like, wait, what's Bowsette exactly? I wonder what type of answers you'll get, because sometimes some things feel so obvious, but like people don't exactly like a lot of people don't know the origins of things about like, where memes come from. Like they think like, oh yeah, Bowsette, she's like a character in the game, right? And it's like, no. But
I feel like at this, people probably would just be like, yeah, no, she's like in Mario Kart or whatever.
Right, exactly. I mean, she's in the fucking bootleg Mario phone games. Like she's a playable character.
Exactly.
Right, but it's just so. Yeah, it's crazy. It reminds me of like when I think they were re-releasing the Titanic, James Cameron Titanic in theaters, and there was all these like kids on social media being like, "The Titanic was real." Like they thought it was just a movie. They didn't. they thought it was like, oh, I thought it was just like a romance movie with kind of like this faux like documentary angle attached to it, right? But like, no, that shit was real, right?
Yeah, no, that boat
That
sank,
motherfucker
brother.
sank. Yeah, no, it's not. That motherfucker was real. But yeah, so I just don't, it's tricky. Recreating this
Yeah, no,
would be tricky.
you can't, like, if someone could figure out how to recreate it, we would have it already, right? Like, I think this is something we gotta really brainstorm on. It might be something we have to really put a pin in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I mentioned earlier before, I think that element of kind of like low-key shitting on women angle is very I think that's a
You gotta add 1% of misogyny,
okay,
according to Cheesy.
okay,
Just a little, just
not
a
necessarily
sprinkle.
misogyny, but like part of the kind of like social discourse, I guess. Like, I know there's a word for it, of
Yeah.
like when people argue about like woke online, like there's like a lot of things that got kind of popular that like I can't think of any examples right now. I mean, I mentioned the comic about.
No, I mean, I mean, yeah, I kind of get what you mean. Where it's like, you kind of have to roll it back to like fandom stuff. You have like the shipping daughter or like power scaler son. It's like, obviously power scalers are better than people who ship you. It's like, why? They're both equally
Like annoying,
stupid.
they're
Who
stupid in
cares?
different ways, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So you have to.
But because one is more feminine coded, that's why that gets a lot more hated just for that
Right,
reason.
so it's like this combination of, I'm just gonna write this down. So it's like a combination of like you're jumping off of like a pre-existing audience, right? Pre-existing audience. The concept is like easy to understand concept, right? And and like you put like you put it like a tinge, you put like a subtle tinge of the social kind of discourse in it, and then you attach like a hot woman, right? It's attractive woman, and I'll say this, and this might be hard for some people to swallow. I think that it is very crucial that it was a white woman. I think like that kind of like adds to it, because I mean that it sucks to say, but like living under like white supremacy, that a lot of people for attractiveness they default to like a white person, right?
I mean, I think there's like that, like you can think of this. There's also that Brazilian Miku thing that I feel like is the closest thing we've come to this, not at this level, but it's definitely like the you take like a conventionally attractive woman and you sort of put her in a way to where like you can kind of project any kind of creativity you want onto her, because people saw the Brazilian Miku as like, oh, I want to draw her in this culture, this culture, this culture.
Yes.
And then people get weirdly mad when they drew her black, but that's a whole other can of worms.
And also with the Brazilian Miku, a lot of things, and this is what I noticed, is a lot of people weren't drawing her necessarily like she was darker skinned. They were drawing her that she was tanned. So she could still be like
it
more
was kind
pale,
of one of those
right? Like
things like where she could in theory be or white
right,
or whatever,
like more lighter skin,
and like, or she could be or she could be like darker skinned, like, and you could just pass it off as like, oh no, she's just tan, she's not actually dark skinned. That'd be weird, right? Haha.
Right, exactly. So yeah.
So no, I think having that avenue for creativity and being able to like expand upon it is important.
Yeah, creative.
Well, also making conventionally attractive like
woman. And to be honest, that's kind of like that's almost like close to like the fandom angle of like, well, in fandoms when there's like one piece of work that like for example, Elteenville Club. I don't know how familiar you are with the Elteenville Club.
Mm-hmm.
They
oh, I love that comic.
Yeah, like they have the comic straight. Like there's only one comic that ended, and they have the pilot.
Yeah.
So, but the fandom is still alive because there's like fan content, there's fan engagement. So So with Bowsette, there's literally nothing. Well, there's the pre-existing stuff with Mario and whatnot, but like the actual liking Bowsette herself, there isn't really nothing. But the concept kind of creates like this creative engagement where people are, they're putting in stuff into the fandom. Everyone's drawing Bowsette, everyone's drawing something related to Bowsette, everyone's drawing using the concept. It's all in there,
It gives enough of a jumping off point to sort of for you to do whatever you want with it, like Bowsette or Brazilian Miku or like any of that kind of stuff. Like those are sort of the two that go off the way where it's like, this is enough of a, there's enough here, but it's also kind of a nothing character that you can kind of make it whatever you want to.
You could project onto it too, right? And and you don't even have to necessarily draw Bowsette, because I remember another comic that was going around was the fucking Bowser Jr. seeing Mario cracking his dad comic. There's different angles, and the thing is drawing yourself as a Bowsette type character, or cosplaying as a Bowsette type character is still popular. It hasn't really stopped.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's just kind of an evergreen concept because, especially in the cosplay world, doing a gender-bent version of an established male character is already popular. So why wouldn't you just do it with Bowser?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's all attached. It's also you can't draw you can't there's got to be a way. Okay. Someone's got to make this a video, or I'm gonna have to take 30 minutes to figure this out myself. But I don't know how well the DeviantArt search function is, but can you filter out things to a specific year, just to see okay, what did the gender bent Bowsers look like before Bowsette? Yeah,
I think if you do you try looking up look up Femme Bowser and maybe do before 2018.
Yes, or rule. What's the rule for gender bend? The
Rule 63.
If you look up Rule 63 Bowser. Also, because Rule 63 is also kind of an old school term. You don't really see it too often.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the internet rules, people just kind of know 34 and 63 because those are the porn ones, and the rest of them are who cares, because it's all forum shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so
it's forum slop, as they say.
All right, here's the fucking just list I wrote. But pre-existing audience, easy to understand, easy to understand concept. It can't be something too complicated, right?
Yeah, it has to be something that everyone kind of knows. Everyone knows what Mario is. Everyone knows who Bowser is. That's just that is easy enough that anyone can sort of grasp it. Needs to be well communicated that okay, here's what's happening and here's the way to do it. So
subtle social, little bit of the social discourse in there, oh, women, am I right, guys? This is why we should have gay sex with each other.
Exactly. I think that's the subliminal message.
Yeah,
in there.
Attractive. Why? It's all these trends are also kind of horny. There's always a kind of horny angle. I guess you could put that under attractive women.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the attractive woman, because it's it's less it's not just outright porn or whatever. It's just an attractive woman just sort of existing or acting in a in a way, again, we were talking about attractive women acting how a man typically does. I think for a lot of people, the fact that she acts like Bowser is the appeal.
I think I also say something I'll say, here's a phrase. It is something obvious, but in a new way, I feel because you hear people, I don't necessarily agree with it, but you hear people say about the hero's journey, all stories are the same fucking story, so everything kind of becomes obvious to a point. But it's not about don't worry about being obvious. It's all about how you be obvious in a new way, be obvious in a new, engage with people in a new, creative, different way. But you're doing the obvious thing in a new, creative way is what I'm saying, So it's oh, gender bend Bowser, that's obvious, but you're approaching it differently, And also these other kind of parameters are hitting at the same time, The creator, freaking what's his name, Ak92. He I
Is that
think
the
that's his
guy?
name. Yeah, that's what's in the comic. That first
Okay.
comic I posted was an edit. I just
Right.
realized I'm like, wait, the original she wasn't like brown in the original. She
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like I remember because like I remember people drew like light brown with like red hair. And it's like, oh, that looks way better than just like her look like a
yeah,
white woman.
exactly right. But people,
Or peach, I
people
guess.
love people love their white women. They love white women. They love white
People,
women.
we people love their white women. We at the Fupa Fellas also love white women. We
We
love
love
all
all
women.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, be obvious in a creative way. But that being said, what was I saying? Yeah, they didn't plan for all this. Everything kind of aligned. That's like the tricky thing, you know. And the thing is that like, I think it's gonna be tough to like manufacture. The next time we see this, like, who knows? Like, it could be tomorrow. It could be years before we see something similar, like replicated again. You know. Right, I think you were right with Brazilian Miku being like the closest thing, the most like kind of recent thing that's been like close enough, you know.
Yeah.
Right, but
Like it's just Hatsune Miku in general is kind of fits a lot of these criteria. She's pre-existing. It's easy to understand. It's just like her from a different country. Subtle social discourse. I mean, maybe not so much that unless you want to count, the race angle. Attractive white woman. I mean, she's basically an attractive white woman. Most people consider anime characters white for some reason. Creative engagement that you can draw her however you want, as long as you keep the big blue twin tails. Everyone can identify it as Miku. Like that's sort of the unique thing about her design, and obvious. So yeah. Be obvious in a creative way. I feel like that
be obvious
knocks most of the criteria out.
The be obvious in a creative way is more kind of like a mindset, I guess, to carry over the whole thing.
Yeah,
right. I'll put parentheses around
exactly.
it. But yeah, So if Mika was missing the subtle social discourse, unless like something was happening to Brazil at the time, who knows? Right.
Yeah, I think that I guess for better is probably makes it the better one because there's no weird stuff tied to it. It's just like it's just a cute blue haired lady you can draw in different outfits.
Yeah, I think though that like at a point, the Bowsette thing because it kind of just. She kind of just became a character in the eyes of people. So like even like the whole weird like shitting on women angle was like very subtly kind of dropped without like it's that thing when like as the meme is passed around, it's like shaven down into a new shape, so it forms like something.
I mean, I think it also just comes from the fact that it was not intended to be that way by the author. It's just like I want to draw this cute design. How do I do it? I don't know. Peach rejects them. That works.
I'll say this: the original comic does a good job of it's a good setup and it's a good punchline. Like, right? Like Princess Peach rejecting them, and then them going in this angle is really it's funny. It's not the funniest thing in the world, but it's funny and it works enough to get the idea across. And I think what also helped. Here's another thing, and I think what also helped a lot was the fact that there's no words in the comic. I guess except for Princess Peach saying no. Yeah. Right, but like. That should be easy to understand. We don't have to see the no to realize she's rejecting them. Right? So
And same with the Brazilian Miku thing. There's no words in it. It's just like, oh yeah, she's wearing a big Brazil shirt. You don't know what Brazil is. The colors of it.
It's not the most creative Brazil outfit either, because it's like, to be a Brazilian, you just wear a Brazilian like soccer jersey. But the idea is to get it gets the idea across though, right? Like it gets the idea across, Yeah. Right. And I think that's ultimately it with like how to. From what we got, I wonder if someone in the comments is going to have a new angle, right? Because that being said, we're going to get a bunch of allegations of trying to recreate Bowsette after this. Everyone's going to be like, they just want to create another Bowsette, right? Like, guys, when I turn Enoch and from Aqua Teen Hunger Force into cute girls, I'm not trying to create another Bowsette. I just think it'd be funny. I think it'd be hot if they were cute girls.
I just want to fuck them, all right? It's not... It just...
What...
Dude, it's not that complicated. I just want to fuck the little characters.
When I create a girl version of the Slee Stacks from Land of the Lost, I'm not trying to create a new Bowsette, okay? I just think it'd be cute if it was like a weird lizard girl, okay? Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna put that all in one big hat. We're gonna sell that too.
Yes, I want to fuck the Slee Stacks from Land of the Lost. This is not a joke. Don't. I'm not joking.
I'm not. I don't want to fuck the sleaze. I just thought it'd be funny to draw them as like an attractive woman with Eurocentric features. All right, God.
Hey, here's like, what if like you're fetish artist and you give your stepfather like a gender bent version of them with like big titties and big ass. Like, here you go, Mike. I drew you as a woman with big titties and big ass. and then he's gonna look at it and be like, damn, I look hot as fuck. Shit. You're gonna start jerking off right there.
Like, and you're proud. It's like, I'm glad you like it so much.
You're like my real son now. I can say I'm proud of you.
I can finally show off what my beautiful son does.
All right. I think we should be wrapping up soon. Anything else you want to say, Spo?
No, I don't think so. I think we've definitely solved the fandom problem. I think
we solved the fandom problem. I think we solved the Bowsette equation.
I think we have a big whiteboard out here, and it's filled with all sorts of numbers.
Filled with all sorts of numbers. We solved the Bowsette question. We solved the Grundle question, so I think that's very... Oh no.
The Grundle question. We've solved every problem, I think. There's not going to be any more cringe fandom incidents after this, and if there are, tell them, nope, that's not an issue. The Fupa Fellas solved it.
The Fupa Fellas solved it. And who the fuck are the Fupa Fellas? And they're like, oh,
link this video.
And they're going to be like, wow, these guys are not funny, and this is kind of boring to listen to. but even if we are boring and not funny, you should still share our videos. We're trying to get to 1,000. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers.
Trying to get to 1,000.
That's our goal.
This is not only funny content; it's educational. Sometimes educational stuff isn't always that funny. True. All right,
majority of it isn't, but yeah. All right, epic. Right. Thanks. This is the Fupa Fellas. Who the hell was this? Who the hell are you?
I'm Spo, and who are you?
Cheesymanfredo. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.